It had been a long week at work, and I was looking forward to a quiet evening at home with my family. I had just pulled into the driveway when I noticed something strange happening across the street. There, in front of one of the neighborhood houses, a group of kids was gathered, looking disturbed. As I walked closer, I realized that something serious was going on. The usual friendly chatter of the kids had turned into tense whispers. At the center of the crowd was Karen, an infamous HOA Karen who had caused problems in the neighborhood before. I had no idea what had set her off this time, but the scene unfolding before me was unsettling. She was shouting at a young girl, no older than 12, her voice rising in anger. The girl seemed terrified, her hands trembling as she stood there, unsure of what to do. I stepped closer, not yet visible to them, but listening carefully. Karen was berating the girl for something I couldn't quite hear. From the looks on the other kids' faces, it was clear they were uncomfortable with the way Karen was treating her. Suddenly, Karen did the unthinkable. She grabbed a beer bottle from a nearby table, shoved it in the girl's face, and demanded, "Drink it, or you're nothing but a coward." My heart raced. I knew this had to stop, and fast. I stepped forward, my voice cold but commanding. "Karen, what do you think you're doing?" She froze, looking up at me in shock. It took her a moment to recognize who I was, but when she did, her face drained of color. "Oh no, not you," she stammered, clearly not expecting to be confronted by someone with authority, let alone someone who had the power to enforce the law. "I think you owe this girl an apology," I said firmly, walking toward her and the girl. "This isn't how we handle things here. And frankly, this is bordering on assault. You've crossed a line." Karen tried to recover, her tone becoming defensive. "I was just—" "Don't," I cut her off, stepping closer to the trembling girl. "You don't get to bully a child like that, not in my neighborhood, not ever. You have no idea who you're dealing with." Karen opened her mouth to speak but stopped herself, clearly calculating her next move. Her attempt to intimidate the girl had clearly backfired, and now she was faced with the reality of a situation far bigger than she expected. I addressed the girl calmly, trying to reassure her. "Are you okay? Is there anything you need?" The girl nodded, tears in her eyes. "I'm okay. Just scared." I turned back to Karen, my voice sharp. "You're going to apologize to this child and her family, and you're going to leave them alone. If I hear about any more incidents like this, I will be filing charges for harassment and assault." Karen's eyes shifted nervously as she realized I wasn't bluffing. She hesitated for a long moment, then finally muttered an apology. It was clear she wasn't sincere, but at least she was backing down. I made sure to follow up with the girl's parents, reassuring them that I'd make sure Karen wouldn't bother their daughter again. I also called the HOA to make it clear that I would not tolerate any more behavior like this from any of its members. The next day, I found out that Karen had been confronted by the HOA board. They had received multiple complaints about her overbearing behavior, and now they were taking her actions seriously. I knew that she wouldn't be so quick to push people around in the future. As for the girl, she was safe, and Karen's attempt to intimidate her was just another example of how people like Karen believe they can control others with their false sense of power. But as the police chief, I wasn't going to let that happen, not on my watch.